Hola, bienvenidos al canal, bienvenidos a un nuevo evento. En el día de hoy tenemos el evento de Night City Wire, que nos lo trae CD Projekt. Bueno, voy a mostraros un par de cosillas antes de que empiece el tema. A ver, el diseñador de calidad de CD Projekt, Lucas Babiel, directamente se ha pasado ya el juego, que os lo voy a mostrar. Se lo ha pasado al 100% en una PlayStation 4 y ese es el número de trofeos que hay en el juego. Luego, Cyberpunk 2077, según los compañeros de Somos Xbox, dice que contará con una celebridad en internet. En este caso es la youtuber Alana Pierce, que aparecerá en el videojuego, que va a poner su propia voz y demás. Van a hacer un parecido al Rubius. Y nada, para los seguidores de esta chica ya sabéis que tenéis un incentivo más para jugar al videojuego. A ver cuánto queda. Un momento, un minuto. Y bueno, así rápidamente os voy a enseñar la figura que han sacado los chicos de Pure Beats, que lo tenéis aquí. Un momento. Un saludo a todo el chat. Ahí tenéis la figura de Johnny Silverhand, que no sé qué precio tiene, pero tiene pinta de costar un huevo y parte de otro. Mirad qué definición tiene. Está bastante currada, de 13,3 pulgadas. reservar. Vamos a ir con el directo. Que quedan 40 segundos. Venga, que ya estamos. Un saludo a todo el chat. Vale.
And welcome to Night City Wire Episode 3, the show from us at CD Projekt Red, where we talk about all things Cyberpunk 2077. In today's episode, we're going to start by taking you on a tour of Night City in a new gameplay video and have a chat with senior level designer Miles. Then we're going to introduce you to the gangs.
Vale, va a salir el diseñador de niveles.
And have a chat with Matayush from our quest team.
Van a mostrar los habitantes que hay en la ciudad. Y vamos a ver unos tremendos PCs customizados. Un saludo a todo el chat. Buenas tardes, Mijael Castillo.
Oh my God, Juanita here. Today's news is Novamax.
Hi there. New to Night City? It's not so bad here.
How we feeling today? Cause I feel amazing.
The food. The Thai on 7th and Haywood. The pierogies down by the docks.
Our home. Our pride. And as always, your business is my business.
And this
Tu negocio es mi negocio. Este es nuestro mundo. Hola, Tony. Buenas tardes. Gracias por ver el stream. No sé si los subtítulos os lo agradecéis que los tenga puestos en la parte de abajo.
endless possibilities and endless lies.
We are fucked, America. And I don't know how we're gonna fix it.
The homeless population in Night City has risen by...
Vale, parece que tiene un lenguaje bastante vulgar.
Crime in Night City is now double the rate than in the new United States.
You want to be some kind of hero?
That's a fight this city won't let you win.
On your own, you're fucked.
Well, on that note, that's it for today's Info Flash. Sleep tight, Night City. The grass ain't greener anywhere else.
Mean to you.
Espérate, le voy a dar calidad que no tenía buena calidad.
How many stations are in the NCART system? Which city district boasts the best burrito in town? The answers to these questions and more can be found at the address at the bottom of your screen. Check it out and fall in love with Night City all over again.
Vale, parece que tienen habilitado nightcity.log. No sé si será verdad esa web. Supongo que será rollo como el GTA. Que podrá acceder desde un móvil o no sé.
Well, since Night City is one of our stars of this episode, there is actually quite a lot to talk about. So let's start at the beginning. How did Night City come to be? Because yes, it exists in the world of the tabletop, but how do you take that and make what we've got now?
Well, yeah, as you can imagine, making a city that is as big and complex as Night City is
Dice que hacer la ciudad ha sido grande y compleja, que ha sido un proyecto ambicioso y que han querido hacer la ciudad con los personajes que han podido para dar una gran inmersión.
We also wanted to provide enough variety between districts so that exploring Night City would always be fun, right? There's no point in making a city that is all same-ish, and you know, it doesn't really matter where you go because once you've been through one district, you feel like you've been through all of them. So for that, we first off started taking a look at the real-life geography that Night City is located on, and that would be on the coast of California.
Vale, parece que está geolocalizado en el coste la costa oeste de California.
Huge industrial areas that would facilitate this kind of trade that you would assume a city of this type would have with the world. And then we went through and actually divided the city into several districts, 6 of them, and some of them are based on the
Hay 6 distritos basados en el original, supongo que será en el juego de mesa. Uno era Pacífica y lo otro era la zona de los suburbios.
This process, I think, has resulted in a city that feels quite alive, has a lot of character, where each district feels like its own distinct zone without...
Dice que al tener tantos distritos han querido llenarlos de vida.
That results in something that allows the player to easily navigate even the complex concrete jungles of Night City simply by looking around and always having a rough idea.
Que quieren que el jugador se sumerja en los diferentes distritos.
Can you give us some idea about, or some insight into just how big and like how densely packed Night City really is?
Yes, so I'm not exaggerating when I'm saying that Night City is easily the most complex thing that I or the others have worked on. The city is super organic, right?
Que lo más complejo ha sido llenar de vida la ciudad con tantos distritos.
Grew in phases, right? Where buildings have been built on top of each other, and I guess the mega buildings that we have showcased are a great example of this. You'll actually see
que crear los edificios bastante grandes han sido bastante complejos.
Underneath it, you'll have space for other buildings. This yields a lot of interesting experiences when it comes to exploration, and that's the one thing I'm most excited about for players to experience. We've been saying that our exploration is super vertical, right? But what this really means is that it changes.
Dice que los edificios son muy verticales. He visto ahí que ponía algo de 2 jugadores. No sé si será algo referente al multijugador.
But here it's much more intimate, much more moment to moment. You might be roaming the cities and get a call by your fixer who informs you about a job nearby that you might be able to do, right? Or you find an alleyway and you walk down one of the many alleyways that the city has to offer, and it's always a surprise. You don't know if you might stumble upon some gangers hanging out that are up to no good. Sometimes, and these are the moments that I often get surprised with, you even stumble upon the odd elevator that is...
Dice que en la ciudad hay gangsters.
You know, different layers of the city, and it's quite astonishing sometimes to see where you come out when you enter one of these and, you know, find that, oh, this is actually how it connects to the world. That's crazy, and now I'm here, and now I know there's a shortcut that I can take. And again, this all serves to really enhance this sense of wonder that we all come to love from open world games, and the whole city is built to cater to that.
I mean, you guys have really brought Night City to life, and I really want to make a point of that. It is a living, breathing city. So as a level designer, can you give us some insight into those little touches that you guys have made? Because I hear you guys have even been placing rubbish by hand.
Oh yes, we've been placing quite a bit of rubbish, and that's certainly one of the more glorious parts of being a level designer or an environment artist, where you get to litter the streets that you've spent time building with the garbage. But it's details such as this that we find really important to make the city feel alive, and also we take great pride in the process of making this, right? We have a lot of fun actually placing a lot of what we call mini stories, right? These are little encounters that you can find when you simply walk along the streets. Of course we have...
Dice que en cada rincón del videojuego te cuenta una serie de historias.
But it always is nice to just kinda stop down
y que hay un montón de actividades que puedes hacer.
That we have so lovingly created, and try to see if there maybe isn't something that you can be a little detective for. Now, one other thing that I think is really cool is also the fact that we have actually named every single street in the city. So not only will NPCs be able to communicate their locations or the locations they want you to visit by sort of referring to the street names, but also you will be able to talk to your friends about it in that way, right? Have you been to Poplar Street in Japantown, for example? And I think this is a small detail, but the philosophy that we have with these kind of things is that, you know, many small things contribute to the sum of it, which is hopefully then you being able to explore a city that you feel is truly alive and that you haven't been experiencing before.
Well, Miles, thank you so much for giving us your insight. I suppose when the game launches, you could be an official Night City tour guide instead, right?
I might be, yeah. You know, if this game dev thing doesn't work out for me, I might retire and become a tour guide in Night City.
Don't forget that if you are tuning in late or if you just want to watch anything again, we will be uploading everything to our channels soon. Now, from the 6th Street to the Valentinos, it's time to introduce you to the gangs of Night City.
Vale, vamos a ver el distrito de los gángsters. Se llama Valentinos. No sé si será el rol que puedes coger, que lo presentaron en el anterior episodio.
You know how things work in Night City? The stronger survive, but that's how things stand. You're either somebody or you fizzle out into nothing.
Denzi ain't a city that lets you get by without buddies.
Be very careful, my friend. We are all so far from home.
Which gang's the city's biggest and baddest, according to the NCPD?
Scavs hold the body count title. Or Maelstrom, depending on the season.
One time, a Maelstrom ganger killed a young kid right in front of my eyes.
Estos son los gángsters, la banda de los Maelstrom.
Who the fuck are you to say what can and can't be? I'm gonna introduce you to our meat grinder. About time we had some fun.
Nada, gracias a vosotros. Y en especial a ISB por darme las gracias por la retransmisión. Se hace lo que se puede. Vale, van a presentar lo que es todas las diferentes culturas que hay en el videojuego. Vale, los valentinos parece que son los latinos. Estos son los americanos. Tienen pinta.
I've dealt with 6th Street before. We do the run, they'll transfer the cred.
Come on, let's go before 6th Street shows up.
Sí, pero por lo que se ve y que por lo visto tus aliados también se pueden volver enemigos tuyos. Es increíble.
Any idea how many attacks from behind the Black Wall we neutralized? If the Voodoo Boys breach the Black Wall, we'll all be fucked.
Voodoo Boys.
Vale, los Voodoo Boys parece que son los que les gustan la tecnología. Y están modificados cibernéticamente. El negro, a ver, el hombre de color, el negro de la demostración del E3 es el líder de los Voodoo Boys.
Animals are the craziest fucking gang in the city.
Vale, mira, este es la demostración que nos mostraron a nosotros en la Madrid Games Week hace un año. Tengo que decir, yo cuando vi la demostración no se veía tanto número de NPCs en pantalla. Vale, esto tiene que ser el distrito japonés.
They did what made the best eddies. Sold sex and black market tech.
See a lot of tigers. They run this place.
Know what else they do well? Break the knees of people who ask questions.
Gotta do something.
Shut the fuck up! The tigers will kill us.
Come on, baby.
Tiger claws killed one girl too many, so people took matters into their own hands.
Folk went ballistic. Girls, pimps, outcasts, the whole freak show. It's how the Mox got started.
Think you're some kind of gangoon now, huh?
Us Moxes have each other's back. We look out for one another. You looking for some company tonight?
How'd you hook up with the Mox?
I thought Susie and the gang could really change something in this city.
Moxes and nomads don't seem so different. Both seem to yammer a lot about community, solidarity. Tell me about the Badlands. Not much going on out here.
Vale, los nómadas son los que están en los exteriores de la ciudad.
This is an ecosystem. Nomads, wrapped in shiv, corporations, and drifters, they form a complete whole. Remove one part, the delicate balance topples.
Here in the Aldecaldos, it all stays in the family.
Classic dilemma. What comes first? Family or the outside world?
This family will go to hell and back.
Everyone in this city lives in their own bubble, and either you fly high or sink into quicksand.
Mateusz, thank you so much for joining us. I have personally
Hola a todo el chat. Hola, Gearpix.
a closer look at the gangs.
Bienvenida.
I've shown a little bit on Twitter, but their styles are so distinct.
Yes, I enjoyed them a lot as well in our game. I think they're very cool.
But let's start then with the kind of role that they play, because gangs really do play a prominent role in Night City, correct?
Yes, definitely. The gangs, they rule the streets of Night City. You know, they have the newest cyberware, they have the newest
Vale, este hombre ha sido el que os he dicho al principio que ya se había pasado el juego al 100% en PlayStation 4. Es un directivo de calidad.
Also, as you complete main quests, side quests, different jobs for the fixers, sometimes you might even get hired by them.
But then, I suppose everybody's thinking then, can you join a gang?
Well, V is a merc, and mercs of Night City are this unique, distinct group that stick mostly to themselves, right? And they get jobs from variety of factions. They can get jobs from corporations.
Dice que hay bastantes tipos de trabajo, varios tipos de facciones, corporaciones, que puedes unirte a una facción. Resumen, pues ahora mismo lo que han mostrado son los 6 tipos de culturas que hay en el videojuego. Y ahora mismo pues están explicando un poco cómo interaccionan unas a otras.
They get the best jobs, they get the most money, the best clients, and so on. So if you want to become a legend in Night City, you are going to the afterlife.
So we've obviously mentioned distinct style then. So does that mean there are kind of special gang-themed weapons and items and clothing for players to find and use?
Yes, definitely. There are different vehicles that you can drive, for example. There are cars, there are motorbikes.
Dice que tiene bastantes diferentes de vehículos, motos, coches,
Gangs, there are weapons.
piezas para equiparte, ropa.
I suppose as somebody
Hay muchas cosas que hay que mirar en el juego.
kind of getting to know the gangs, I have to ask, which is your favorite and why?
So I would have to say probably Maelstrom.
Le estaba preguntando que qué facción le gusta más.
And this weird aesthetic about them. So the idea about
Dice que son únicos.
They are people who want to cross the boundary between the machine and human, right? They are changing.
Dice que son mitad máquinas, mitad humanos.
That they no longer look human, really.
Y que pueden cambiar partes de su cuerpo.
It's very difficult to say what they
Que es algo muy impredecible y muy difícil de decir.
And at the other moment, you know, they will pull gun out on you, and they bring in this element of chaos into the game, which I really enjoy personally.
Oh, Matty, thank you so much for joining us. It's always interesting to learn what your favorite gang is. I think it kind of tells me a little bit about you.
Oh, does it? What does it say about me?
Well, we'll talk about that later. But for now, before we wrap up today's episode, we asked people to show us their creativity and design a PC case mod.
Vale, ahora vamos a ver los PCs customizados oficiales de Cyberpunk con un profesional del modding.
These 5 amazing designs will be fighting for the main prize, an Alienware Aurora PC, along with other awesome gaming peripherals, brought to you by our partners, Alienware, Nvidia, and SteelSeries. Let's see the mods.
Mira, ese PC está...
Love this one.
The whole aesthetic works with each other.
Espérate, a ver si sale.
Absolutely next level. Honestly, kind of terrifying.
Mira ese, qué guapo con la araña. No, a ver, el juego yo lo que pude ver en la demostración, que además nos lo presentó el chaval que ha salido explicando, el diseñador de niveles, que el juego directamente, vamos a ver, es un concepto, es lo que estáis viendo, pero yo lo que pude ver es que no había mucha densidad de NPCs. No sé si sería por el distrito especial que nos enseñaron, que fue el de Pacífica. Y lo que os puedo comentar es que, según lo que lo que vi, que directamente, como hay tantos tipos de culturas, lo que hay que hacer es instalarte un chip para que automáticamente puedas entender lo que están diciendo los NPCs. Vale, están diciendo los requisitos mínimos que necesitas para PC. 64 bits, Windows 7, 64 bits, Windows 10, DirectX 12, Intel Core i5 3570 o AMD FX 8310, 8 GB de RAM, una Nvidia GeForce GTX 780 de 3 GB o la AMD Radeon RX 470. De almacenamiento son 70 GB. Y recomiendan un SSD. Ahora los recomendados son 64 bits de Windows 10, DirectX 12, Intel Core i7 4790, 12 GB de memoria RAM, una Nvidia GeForce GTX 1060 y tal. Pues no pide mucho el juego. Claro, ¿qué es lo que pasa? Que es que ahora mismo los datos que han dado es sin Ray Tracing. Cuando le pongan el Ray Tracing, supongo yo que las especificaciones cambiarán. Vale, parece que ya se ha acabado el evento. No, sí, está bien optimizado. No sé si en vuestros ordenadores funcionará. Yo el día de salida lo streamearé en el que tengo. Que tengo un i7, un 7700K con 32 GB de RAM y una 1080 Ti. Bueno, pues parece que ya está. Se ha acabado. Bueno, pues muchas gracias por haber visto el directo. Y nada, os tengo que emplazar a la semana que viene, que será el Tokyo Game Show, que seguramente lo retransmita. Dejaré por redes sociales los horarios del evento. Y nada, un saludo a todos. Ya os diré algo por redes sociales. Venga, un saludo, adiós.